Good morning, my dear students. This course is called GST123, Communication in French. It's a 2-unit credit course. My name is Professor Ija Gideon Akasi of the Department of French, National State University, Kefi. This is Study Session 5. Now, the content of this unit, which this session 5 we're going to look at, is we're going to look at conjugating the verbs vouloir and pouvoir. Vouloir is a French verb which means to want, and then pouvoir is also a French verb which means to be able. Then at the end of that, we'll expect you to form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the present tense. As we go, we're going to look at that. Then the third area we're going to look at is conjugate the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. No, the first one will be conjugating it in the present tense, and then we'll look at it in item number 3. The verb will be conjugated in the past. Then the fourth aspect is that we are going to form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. We're going to form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. And then area number 5, we're going to conjugate the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past continuous tense. So we're going to look at all those conjugations. Then we'll also form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past continuous tense. The objective of having when I talk about conjugation or conjugating is breaking down the original form of the verb into the way which you can use it in making sentences. So please be very attentive even as you go on. Now, conjugating verbs. Now we are looking at the verb vouloir, which I told you that is to want, and then the verb pouvoir, which is to be able in the present tense. Now, vouloir is je veux. This is the conjugated form. I told you conjugation is the breaking down of the process of this verb such that you could use them in a sentence. Je veux, that is first person singular, which means I want or I do want. Tu veux, it means you want or you do want. Il veut, he wants or he does want. Then elle veut, she wants. Nous voulons, we want. That's in the plural now. Vous voulez, you want. Then ils veulent, they want. It could be in the masculine form. If it is in the masculine form, it's ILS, ils veulent, they want. Now, if it is in the feminine form, which is still in English, there's no difference, which means they. We will use ELLES, elles veulent, which means they want. You have to take note that the verb is mostly used as auxiliary. Let us consider the following simple structure: pouvoir, by making sentences with pouvoir, that is to be able to. Je peux, I can, or I am able to. Je peux, you can say, je peux faire ce travail, I can do this work, or I am able to do this work. Donc, je peux means I can. Then you also have tu peux, you can. Il peut, he can. Nous pouvons, we can. That's in the plural now. Vous pouvez, you can. Ils peuvent, they can. And elles peuvent, they can. Now, example of sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir. Now look at the verb vouloir. Vouloir is to want, or some people can even say wish. Je veux manger le riz. I want to eat rice. Because manger is to eat, and then rice is called riz. So, je veux manger le riz. I want to eat rice. Tu veux avoir ton repas. You want to have your meal. Il veut quitter la salle. You want to leave the room. Salle is room in French. Elle veut préparer la nourriture. She wants to prepare food. Nous voulons être là. We want to be around. We want to be there. Vous voulez danser. You want to dance. You want to dance. Nous voulons acheter le livre. We want to buy book. Il veut chercher la craie. Il veut chercher la craie. We want. Nous voulons chercher. Il veut chercher la craie, which means they want to look for chalk. Chalk is called craie. Craie. It shouldn't sound like there are two words which sound almost synonymous. Craie, I repeat, the word is craie, which means chalk. Claire is C-L-E. If it is clear, it is key. So what we're talking about here is craie, which means chalk. Donc, elle veut cuisiner. They want to prepare meals. Now, consider this example. I want a book. J'ai besoin d'un livre. You want a pen. Tu as besoin d'un bic. He wants a knife, or he wants a wife. Il a besoin d'une femme. She wants a husband. Elle, please take it away. It's not il, it's elle. She. Elle a besoin d'un mari. So it is L, E-double-L-E. Ignore the arrow on the which was written as il. Il is not il, it's L. That she is in need of a husband. So we also look at, we need a television. Nous avons besoin d'une télévision. They need a bottle of water. Ils ont besoin d'une bouteille d'eau. Pouvoir can also be used as auxiliary verb. Je peux danser à willow. You all know a willow. In English is I can dance à willow. Je peux danser à willow. Tu peux acheter le riz. You can sell. Tu peux acheter. Acheter is to buy. You can buy rice, not sell. So remember, take note of that. Tu peux acheter le riz. You can buy rice. Il peut entendre le bruit. He can hear or listen to noise. And then, past tense of the verb vouloir and pouvoir. To form the past tense, we need to make use of auxiliary verb such as avoir. We also use auxiliary verb because they agree with the subject. This has to precede the past participle of the verb vouloir, which is voulu. Now, looking at vouloir now, as we said that we want to look at the conjugation. J'ai voulu means I wanted. Tu as voulu, you wanted. Il ou elle a voulu, he or she wanted. Nous avons voulu, we wanted. Vous avez voulu, you wanted. Ils ou elles ont voulu, they wanted. So if you notice that because of the position of the past tense, as I said earlier, the verb vouloir at the past participle form, it remains, it does not change because you see voulu has been repeating all through. You see voulu has been repeating all through. So it is standard. It will not change, but you have the the personal pronouns changing from je to tu and so on. Then we now look at the other verb, the verb pouvoir. Like vouloir, we need the verb avoir as auxiliary to form the past participle of the verb pouvoir. It precedes the past participle, or what we call participe passé in French, of the verb pouvoir, which is pu. J'ai pu. Look at the examples, some of the examples in the sentences. J'ai pu, I wanted. Tu as pu, you wanted. Il ou elle a pu, he or she wanted. Nous avons pu, we wanted. Vous avez pu, you wanted. Il ou ils ont pu, they wanted. So, pouvoir, the past participle of pu remains unchanged. You keep repeating it in that form, like that. Now, looking at sentences with verb pouvoir and vouloir in the past tense. Vouloir, these are some sentences we just gave for you to look at it. Mon ami a voulu quitter la classe, which if translated would mean my friend wanted to leave the class. The second example here is vous avez voulu manger le riz. You wanted to eat rice in English. Then the third one is la grand-mère a voulu écouter la radio. The grandmother wanted to listen to the radio. And then we also look at mes oncles ont voulu cultiver le champ. My uncle wanted to farm or to cultivate the farm. Now you come down to pouvoir, which I said earlier, that is to be able to. Now, these are some of the sentences. Hier, j'ai pu aller à l'école, which if translated means yesterday I was able to go to school. Avant-hier, nous avons pu lire le roman. Avant-hier, nous avons pu lire le roman. 2 days ago, we were able to read a novel. Or before yesterday, we were able to read a novel. Then example number 3 is ils ont pu regarder la télévision. And then it translated, ils ont pu regarder la télévision. They were able to watch the television. Then the fourth example, hier soir, tu as pu manger les haricots, which is translated, yesterday evening you were able to eat rice. Beans. Haricots is beans. L'année dernière, nous avons pu écrire les examens. Last year, we were able to write the exams. Now, looking at the l'imperfect du verbe vouloir et pouvoir. The imperfect form of the verb vouloir, to be able to, or pouvoir, to be able to, and vouloir, to want to. Now, to form our radical, we need to remove OIR at the end of the verb vouloir. This will definitely give us vous. With that, you see OIR is removed. What is remaining there is VOUL, which we can call it the stem of a sentence. We shall then add the following suffixes to it. Je, and then you add the suffixes as AIS, like first person singular under je, then the second person singular is also the same thing, AIS. Then the third person singular will add AIT. Then that's for the imperfect form in the singular form. Then when we go to the plural form, which begins with no, we add IONS. And then vous, IEZ, we add it, and then L or il, we add AIENT. So you see that dash, that hyphen, you see like that. It shows that the verb will start as indicated up with the stem, and then like vouloir, which I said it started up there with the, I said this will definitely give us VOUL in quote. So you will not take those words in the quote and put it at the beginning of those dash. Then you complete it with the AIS, AIS, AIT, IONS, IEZ, A-I-E-N-T. Then we give you a complete conjugation of the verb in the imperfect form. Then we'll go down to vouloir, to want, to be able to want. Vouloir means to want. Maybe you want to do something, you want to do something. Now you write je voulais, as I was showing you the example of when you cut those things and put. Now, nous voulions. Voulais, je voulais is personal, a single person in the singular form. Like, I want to, I would want to. Nous voulons, we will want to. Tu voulais, you want to. That is second person singular. Vous vouliez, first person, second person plural. Vous vouliez, you want to. Il ou elle voulait, and then elle or il voulait also. Then the verb pouvoir, when you look at in this area, I said the same method we use to form the radical of the verb vouloir is also used to form the radical of the verb pouvoir. This will give us P-O-U-V. You remember the other one I said for vouloir I use V-O-U-L. Then here is pouvoir, which means P-O-V-U. We have also dropped O-I-R in this, which then we'll now begin to add the suffixes as we did it in pouvoir, in the vouloir. So the same addition of suffixes still repeat itself. Je pouvais. You see, if you drop the O-I-R, now the verb pou will be P-O-U-V. So you now begin to add up A-I-S, I-O-N-S, A-I-S, I-E-Z, A-I-T, and A-I-E-N-T. They'll go in that sequence like that. Now, example of sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in past continuous tense. Now, when you look at vouloir now, vouloir, we have an example of a sentence like Je voulais manger le riz. I was wanting to eat rice. Je voulais manger le riz. I was wanting to eat rice. Tu voulais quitter la classe. Class ends with E. There's an omission there on the dashboard. So you just add E to class. So because to make it French, because in French, class ends in E, not just with double S. Now, tu voulais quitter la classe means you were wanting to leave the class. The next example is il ou elle voulait étudier le français. He or she was wanting to study French. Nous voulions aider le professeur. Nous voulions aider le professeur. We wanted helping the teacher or the lecturer. Professor is lecturer, teacher. Now, the next example, vous vouliez vous exprimer en français. Vous vouliez vous exprimer en français. You were wanting to express yourself in French. Then the next one is il ou elle voulait nager dans la piscine. Il ou elle voulait nager dans la piscine. He or she, which we just put in that, they wanted swimming. They wanted to swim in the swimming pool. That is it. Then we also come to pouvoir. Pouvoir. Under pouvoir, the example of such sentence is je pouvais m'exprimer en français, which means je pouvais m'exprimer en français, which means I could express myself in French. Nous pouvions nous calmer pour éviter le malentendu. We were able to calm down to avoid misunderstanding. Nous pouvions nous calmer pour éviter le malentendu. We were able to calm down ourselves to avoid misunderstanding. Elle pouvait préparer le thé. She could prepare tea. Thé is tea. Elle pouvait préparer le thé. Then in this column now, we just have some assignment for you to look at. Take home assignment to try to practice one or two things about these two verbs. Now, the first assignment, number one, is on conjugate the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the present tense. Now, I told you that the conjugation of the verb is to breaking down the verb into the word, into the form which we use in a sentence. Then you now form, after doing that, you now form sentences with the verbs vouloir and pouvoir in the present tense as well. Then the second one, you conjugate the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. To conjugate these two verbs, you just learn vouloir and pouvoir in the past tense. Okay, try that and let's see what happens. Then number 3, you also try to form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. When you conjugate a verb, you try to join it together to make sentences, to make meaning out of it, to make sense. So that is forming sentences. So you form sentences with the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past. And then the fourth one is conjugate the verb vouloir and pouvoir in the past continuous tense. When you look at the example we gave on the board, you'll be able to take a cue from that. Then form the fifth one is to form sentences with the verbs, with these two verbs, vouloir and pouvoir, in the past continuous tense. Please try to do this assignment because they will help you to actually begin to remember what we have taught you. And then there is, we do that. So then, at the end, I will also advise you, this one is not an assignment, it's just an oral assignment. I advise you to look for a dictionary. We call it Dictionnaire de Conjugation, Dictionary of Conjugation. We have the one of 4,000 verbs. We have they call it lac de conjugate. Lac de conjugate. Lac is L apostrophe A-R-T. Lac. Then de is D-E. Then conjugate is C-O-N-J-U-G-U-E-R. They say lac de conjugate. So this lac de conjugate, we have the one of 4,000 verbs. We have the one of 12,000 verbs. We have the one of 8,000 verbs. We even have the one of 16,000 verbs. They have this, any of the lac de conjugate you have has it contain all the verbs, the conjugation of the verb from first person singular, from present tense to the last form of conjugation we have in French. So if you get it, it can also help you to do conjugation without stress. Thank you for listening. If you have any further questions, you can meet us individually.